The Craig Ferguson Pants on Fire tour is on sale now. It's a new show, it's new material, but I'm afraid it's still only me, Craig Ferguson, on my own, standing on a stage, telling comedy words. Come and see me. Buy tickets. Bring your loved ones. Or don't come and see me. Don't buy tickets and don't bring your loved ones. I'm not your dad. You come or don't come, but you should at least know it's happening. And it is. The tour kicks off late September and goes through the end of the year and beyond. Tickets are available at thecraigfergusonshow.com/tour. They're available at thecraigfergusonshow.com/tour or at your local outlet in your region. My name is Craig Ferguson. The name of this podcast is Joy. I talk to interesting people about what brings them happiness. On the podcast today is one of my oldest friends. Well, he's not old at all. In fact, he's younger than me, but he's, which doesn't make you young by any stretch of the imagination, but he's a lovely man and a good friend of mine and an excellent member of the show business community. He's a writer, he's an actor, and he has a moustache. His name is Tom Lennon.
Hi.
Hi.
I see you finally.
Can you hear me all right?
I see you.
This is good. This is like being on CNN.
I see you finally got that chair of your dreams that you were dreaming about. I remember.
You know, this chair is it's from I don't know if you've heard of this company. They're very, very exclusive. What they do is you buy the chair in a flat pack form. And
it
then
inflates?
You have the chair. It gets delivered to your house by Vikings. And then that's a clue to the
bloodthirsty
company.
people.
And then you yep. And then, but luckily, what you have to do is you have to hide while the Vikings raid, pillage, and all the other stuff they do.
No, they do a lot of stuff.
And then
I have some of that
stuff,
DNA
then
as a
when
result from stuff they do. Those guys do. I mean, yeah.
Do you know that the Vikings were actually? I'm just turning the sound up so I can hear you better. Vikings were the most prolific traders in slaves in human history.
That seems like it tracks. Also, could I say, it feels a lot like when you went to the catalog for the chair, you had just had a fever dream about the show Dynasty. And everybody, and like the shoulder pads on all these foxy 80s ladies. See what I'm saying? It's got a foxy.
Are you saying that you think it's a foxy?
It feels like,
I think it is a bit.
It feels like in a nightmare where Angie Dickinson as like an 80s sex pot, where she's going to get.
And she was.
Absolutely.
Is.
I
think she still is.
So let's say some evil wizard was like, Angie Dickinson, you shall now live as a chair.
You shall spend eternity as a chair.
Now that you have done so many evil deeds.
But wait.
You shall sit under Craig Ferguson for the rest of your life.
First of all, there's a flaw in your logic here because Angie Dickinson, whilst a gorgeous 80s sex pot, and not evil in any way. Yeah. Not evil at all.
Delight.
And also, I noticed that your evil wizard was English and also Irish. So I don't think
well,
that
he
works.
started off. They always land a little bit Irish. You know, it's better to land over that way.
Well, when I do accent work, it's usually, can you do a Scottish accent? And I say yes, and that's pretty much it. The only English, I did an English voice in the Drew Carey show, but that was bad. That was a bad.
Let's go to a clip.
It was.
Hello, I'm Craig Ferguson from Drew Carey. I'm going to fire you right away. Get the hell out of here, Drew Carey. My name is Craig Ferguson.
No, it was Mr. Wick. It was Mr. Wick. So I say, Carey, you're fired.
Oh, very good, very good.
I went for I went for posh before Downton Abbey. Before it was cool. It's still not cool. But
I just learned something about British people. You know, who live very close to you. In Scotland, the British people. Now, did you know that until our childhood, you could go to a shop in the East End and get jellied eels to eat?
Wait. You can still go to stores in the East End of London and get jellied eels. It's a delicacy.
How? It's an eel.
Well, what you do is you go into the store. First of all, you get on your flat cap.
Go in. I'm doing something pretty weird. Yeah.
Thumbs in your waistcoat.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Right? You go into the store and you say, I'd like some jelly deals, please. And they say, why?
And they don't put you in a
sir.
straitjacket
That would
and
be-
take you. They say, we're taking you to the lunatic asylum because no one would eat it.
No, they eat jelly eels, but the thing is, the eels are very good near the sewage outlets because you know what eels like to eat. So the eels that
threw
they
that
eat,
out so casually. No, we don't know what they'd like to eat. Do eels eat poop? Are we saying that
I
eels
think
eat something like
eels-
poop or something? I don't want to be a part of
I
this.
think they do. Yeah, I think eels will eat anything organics, and that includes
No,
they don't know it's poop. They're eels. They just think, wow, what's all this amazing, delicious stuff coming out this pipe? They don't know it's poop.
It's probably got other eel. God, the thing went sideways quick. I'm sorry I asked about it. I just thought you'd probably know about it, as it's a delicacy from nearby you. You know.
Well, English people eat Cockneys basically. They call them Cockneys because they
Because their
eat
cock's
cockles
good.
as well.
The cock. Oh, I thought it was a
knees.
totally different reason. I've always assumed I heard Michael Caine, and when I heard Cockneys, I just thought, wow, this guy seems. I thought his acting was amazing. I didn't know.
Yeah, well, that's their favorite in the East End of London. That's why they have their thumbs in their waistcoats for balance. It's about center of gravity. They have to hold themselves back, thumbs in it.
Otherwise,
the weight, massive.
The weight would the eel. We're back to their jellied eel would just tip them straight forward. They'd go ass over cheek.
Well, you see, but here's the thing. That's only male Cockneys. Female Cockneys. Female Cockneys. Actually, the correct name for a female Cockney is a Vagny.
That's a Vankney.
A Vagney.
You got a Vagney.
Yeah, a Cockney and a Vagney.
Anyway, I'm dying to try some of these jellied eels once I get back to that part of the world.
Well, you know that you can get eel. You get maguro. Isn't that? No, that's tuna. But you can get eels in sushi restaurants. Japanese people eat eels, and by extension, people who enjoy Japanese food eat eels.
I know your family is a big Marmite family. You're a Marmite guy, aren't you?
Yeah, we are Marmiters. Yeah, but there's no eels in Marmite.
Could be. Could be. Just takes one genius to do that.
It's a No. That's absurd, Tom. The Marmite is a vegetarian treat. You add eel to it, it's not going to work.
I would actually think if I'm going to eat an eel in any way, Marmite's going to be my way out. Marmite's going to be the only way to get me to the other side of this tunnel.
Oh, you mean like for taste-wise?
I need something that's going to... I've never had eel.
You've never tried eel?
Not going to do it. Never had it, not going to do it.
Have you ever been to Japan?
No, I haven't.
See, now you have to get yourself to Japan
right?
because I went to a sushi restaurant in Japan. Now, before I went, I was just like you. I was like, I will never eat eel. And I went to Japan and I went to... Have you ever seen the documentary Jiro Dreams
Only
of
like
Sushi?
a million times. I know that... Did you go to that place?
I went to
Did you meet
exact restaurant.
Jiro?
Yes,
Was he
I
nice
did.
to you?
He kind of was.
Oh,
because
because I heard he was standoffish.
Well, he was very.
I heard he's a little standoffish.
Well, no, I think he's formal. I think he's very formal. It's very manners. And I went to the restaurant with Milo,
Yes,
my
of course,
oldest
I know him well.
child, who was 13 at the time, right? So Milo and I go to this restaurant because we had watched the documentary, and we go in and they just Jiro-san just tells you what you're.
Yeah,
gonna
you
have.
can't ask.
He doesn't. You don't. Yeah, you don't get to choose. It's like, here's what it is. And if you've seen the documentary, you'll know that his son is really big time sushi.
The
chef
son is how they
in
got the Michelin star, apparently. Or the wait, is it?
Right,
Was
exactly.
he's a 3.
I
think he's
mean,
a 3.
It's very,
he's a
very
3-star,
high up.
which is the highest it goes. And then they took one away because it's too hard to get a table. So, and he had agreed. He said, that's okay. You can take one away. But one of the rules of Michelin stars is, I think his restaurant, how many seats are in the restaurant total?
It's not big. It's
like
about
12,
the size of a little diner. Yeah, it's like a little diner. It wasn't busy when I was in.
I'd argue
was,
you have. I've been
empty.
to your house. You have a bigger sushi restaurant in your house. I've
In my
been
house.
there.
I have.
I've seen it.
There are
You objectively.
there are parts of my house I've
of
never
course.
been. Sometimes
And
I go to areas of my house. I'm like, wow, look at
Who
this
had
chair.
this?
It's
We
like
had a
it's
sushi
from
restaurant,
Dynasty
and
or
you've got that
something.
weird karaoke place over there.
Yeah, it's pretty big. But here's the thing, though. I've moved back to America, Tom.
I keep tabs on
now,
you.
now
I keep tabs on you a little bit.
I live in New England.
Yeah.
Now. I actually had a party this summer, and I was invited you to come to the party this summer, and you didn't.
I know I didn't make
come.
it. I do want to come though. I'm dying to come.
Yeah,
You know why?
you should come here. We have eels. Like
You know why I
wouldn't
couldn't come? I
believe,
couldn't come
and-
because I had to go do. I'd agreed to do something, and I forgot when it was happening. But have you ever done one of these?
Yeah.
I never would do it. I would never do
What?
it except you know how the movie business is in a giant recession? Well, for me, no,
all
for me
show
it is.
business.
For me it is.
all show business.
So I did.
Yeah, I
I
hear
did
you.
the first ever, and I'd always been sort of dubious about these, but I went and did I got to do, it was really fun. I did a fan convention. I'd never done a fan convention.
Okay.
It's a really, you've never done one.
Supply and demand,
Yeah.
my friend. I don't have enough.
Oh, no,
fans.
you definitely have enough fans. You have a lot of
No,
fans.
I don't
You
have
do.
enough.
You
No,
do.
not enough for a convention. Maybe enough for if we all went to the sushi
Greg,
restaurant.
I'll tell
where
you,
the
I'll tell you
Michelin
right
stars,
now,
but-
not everybody at the fan convention has enough fans for a fan convention. Some folks
that's probably
definitely
true.
do. Some folks definitely do. You'll meet some real
Right.
interesting folks at the fan convention. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, is it a fan convention that
Mm-hmm.
like they first of all here's my main concern. Do they pay you to
Yes.
go? Okay,
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
So I'm still
Yeah.
listening. And secondly, is it fans of Reno 911? Is it fans of
It's fans of the
Night
idea
the
of
Music?
show business in general. So, like, here's a perfectly logical one corner of the fan convention that makes perfect sense. Ready? Is me, and then Dennis Rodman, and then Priscilla Presley. Just the way that you always pictured us. You know how they sell that ice cream that's like if you can't decide what you want? You know, Neapolitan, I think it's called, after the flag.
I'll have Rodman, Presley, Lennon.
But you
please.
don't know. You're like, yeah, I don't want that much of any one of those three. But that for one corner in one beautiful place in Pittsburgh this year, the Neapolitan ice cream flavor of 3 tables in a row, Priscilla, Lieutenant Dangle, number 91, Dennis the Worm Rodman. And it makes, if you think about it, it makes perfect sense.
Well, in a fan convention, sort of. No, describe the people to me that turn up.
You
at
know,
fan
it's a
convention.
very
I'm
fun
interested.
bunch. It was just it's a little, it feels a little bit like you're at Comic-Con. You know, it feels like you're at, it's people,
Okay.
you know, it's Uber fans. I'll say this, I've been on, and I know you've done this too. I've been on a couple of book tours when I've written a novel and gone out with a book. And
Yep.
you know who shows up at
Yep.
bookstores? Almost no
Yeah.
one.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh
that's true.
God.
That is
I've been
true.
sitting at so many book events.
Especially
No.
now. I mean,
Yeah.
look, I'm a very booky person.
Oh,
as you
I
can
know.
tell by
I know. You've
behind
been
me. There
bragging
there
about
are
your
books.
literacy for years.
Yeah, I'm a reader, but I can't tell you the last time I read a book. It's hard with all the business of I don't know
On my last
looking at pictures of eels
My last
on
novel-
YouTube and stuff.
that I wrote, I had a book. I had a book event up in San Francisco, just outside San Francisco, and I'm like, this is gonna be
Right.
so cool.
Pleasantville?
something like that. This could have been.
Is it? Yeah.
Could have been.
Yeah.
And I got to the book event, and there were 12 people at the book event. Craig, you ready? And 6 of them were my cousins. 6 of them. 6 of them was the San Francisco branch of the Lennons, of which there's a lot of San Francisco Lennons, and thank goodness because they showed up for the book event, because otherwise you're not always going to get folks at the book event, you know.
Wait, it's funny. No, you surprised me. I didn't know the Irish went to San
The Irish.
Francisco. I thought
Oh
they
yes,
just,
yes. The Irish went to San Francisco. Have you not seen the picture called Dirty Harry Callahan?
Oh, that's
Yes.
true. Yeah,
Not only that,
that's
my
true,
uncle,
yeah.
Mike Lennon, speaking of. So Michael Lennon, my father's older brother, was a captain on the San Francisco police force for like 40-something years. Yeah.
Well, that's the police though.
All police. No, that's what we do.
Writers.
We're yeah.
Until about 1987, every policeman in the United States.
That's what we're doing. And most of them were my cousins.
Yeah.
Many or most of them.
You know, well, that's Ireland, and then that's the Viking
it's a good job
thing,
for us. It's
and
a
then
good job for us. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems to work.
Does
out.
it?
I have a couple of Irish. No, it doesn't at all. Actually, now when I think about it, it's one of the reasons though that I always felt very comfortable in Boston, because I felt like I looked like every cop in the city.
Classic. If I was doing like a Muppet Christmas Carol where there's a Boston cop, Ferguson, you're my number one. You would be
really?
like, oh my God, number one.
No,
like, who do we need?
no. Well, first of all, are you doing a Muppet Christmas Carol?
You ready for this? You ready for this? I made a sort of a joke about that. I think that's because in my subconscious, the state is working on a. Do you ever remember a state sketch called Porcupine Racetrack that I wrote? Oh no, we did it. Yeah, we did it live. We do it live at the end. I come out in the porcupine outfit.
Yeah, I saw it in the show live. Yeah.
We're kind of working on. We were working on a musical of that with Brian Henson's company. Do you know Brian Henson? He's the heir, and
I do know. I know Brian very well. Actually, we've not made a bunch of.
That's what we're
television
doing
shows
right now. He and I are not making something.
He's a lovely guy. I love not making television.
I'm so close to
with
having
him.
almost not made something with him.
Yep, that's I have not made about 4 great TV shows with Brian Head.
I think
he is a lovely
he's so
man.
lovely.
Though. Very nice. Did you get a tour of the studios, the Henson Studios?
We did. We got to go in that crazy meeting room. So it's not. I mean, it's so crazy.
That is.
Chaplin
it's
Studios.
So
it was Charlie Chaplin, United Artists.
Charlie Chaplin's old studios in Hollywood.
Then they recorded We Are the World there, which I'm sure you've seen the documentary. Oh, throw it on tonight.
No.
That's recorded at Yes. When it was a music company for a long time, and they recorded We Are the World
because I think,
there.
I think I did hear that, because I think they had also said that the Carpenters had recorded something there.
Very, very likely.
And Karen,
Karen Major drummer.
I'm a big fan as a drummer. Karen Carpenter was a great drummer. Yeah, let's go to a clip, and we're back. Wasn't she amazing?
That was a great Karen Carpenter clip. So no, we're working on. I'm going to act like we're working on it, and it's going to work out fine. You know, and it's just
sure.
Let's just
say it's going to.
You know how
have you noticed in television right now though? Yeah. I mean, this is true. It's certainly true for me. Like I'm not involved in television right now. Whenever I pitch anything to anyone, they're like, "Oh, that's great," and then I never hear anything again.
I'm in a very weird place where I do, like I'm writing a show for Fox that I've been writing for about 2 years now. But then I'll have auditions for roles that you would think I could just get. You know, like recently auditioned for weird guy who's in charge of the pickleball rules at weird guy. They're 50s mustache, persnickety asshole who's in charge of the pickleball committee.
Job's
and I'm
yours.
I have to audition for this? What?
Well, I had the same thing. Somebody said somebody said to me, they said, we'd like you to do a chemistry read with the other act star that we want to put you with. I went, well, I don't need to do a chemistry. What are you talking about, a chemistry read? This
was
part,
this
by
recently?
The way, is for yes.
Was it this within this last year?
Definitely within the last 6 months.
Did we read for the same role and neither of us get it? Did you sign a non-disclosure agreement where you couldn't talk about it?
No, I didn't. No. Oh, you did? All right, let me. No, because I wouldn't do the chemistry.
Oh, you didn't even do it?
No, I'm like,
was it?
You know who I am.
Can we get vaguely more specific? Was it? It wasn't for some.
Sure.
Is it for? Okay, people playing along can guess. Was it for a streaming service whose logo is a famous bird?
I believe it was.
Yes, it was. So it was for a streaming. It was a high-end streaming show. Their logo is a beautiful bird, famous for showing off its beautiful plumage. And I'm not saying the name
That's
of
right.
anything, but he has beautiful plumage.
No, that's true.
He's got his cock goes down to his knees. It's
Cockneys,
it's,
right. Cockneys.
That is so interesting.
And the role, I can't imagine we were up for the same role because the guy was Scottish.
Oh no, then we weren't. Oh no.
Oh wait, no.
Wait, are you sure?
I read the script and I said no. No.
You always think
I
the
read
guy
the
is
script and went, "This guy's Scottish."
That's just something you thought. Of course. I think
no, that's what I do. That's what I do in every script I read. I read the script and go,
this
"Well,
guy's
this
Scottish
guy's
again.
clearly Scottish."
Well, I'll tell you right now, why do I read it?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, thank God this guy has a mustache. And then nowhere does it say that. And I just told you he does. I'm like, well, lucky it's another mustache part for me.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it just seems like a very odd time. And every time I talk to a television executive now, I mean, look, I've never loved television executives, but now I just think you guys are fucking idiots. I wouldn't trust you to park my
Can I say
car.
what's better about your version of the story, though? So we both were reading for something for the Beautiful Bird streaming service. I did do the chemistry read.
Right.
And I did it, and I thought it felt like I was having, maybe I might be a little delusional. You've known me for a long time. It seemed like one of the,
You're a little delusional, but
it
not
seemed
bad.
like one of the great
Not bad.
auditions of my life. I just knew I was killing it. Were you reading with an actress who's sort of specific? No.
I know who the actress was, but I refused to
You
do the reading.
didn't
I
do
was
it.
like, no, give me the job or fuck off.
Oh, see, that should have worked better for me because I did do the reading and I still didn't get it.
Well, it didn't work for me
we
either.
gotta
They didn't give me the job.
Right now, let's find out who got that and get them on this fucking podcast right now because I want to figure out what did they.
Let's go to a commercial break, and when we come back,
we'll bring in who actually scooped me and Ferguson.
Who got the job.
I love that you had the
But the
balls
thing
not
was-
to just say, I'm not going to do that. I don't.
By the way, that's a blanket policy for me.
Yeah, but I can't do that. I can't do that.
Well, of course you fucking
No, I
can.
can't.
They know who
they
you
don't.
are.
But
Yes,
they don't.
Yes, they do. They do. They do. Otherwise, they wouldn't have
Well, my
asked you.
hubris is always the second they see me read it, I'm going to get it. There's no way they see me do this and not give it to me because I'm so amazing.
Well, I can believe that. I mean, well, you are very amazing. My feeling is that if they see me doing it, they'll never give me the job. So the only chance I've got,
keep the mystery.
The only chance
keep the
I've
mystery
got.
up there. Yeah.
I just think, oh, you'll be sorry you never gave it to me.
You never knew what it was like. You never knew what it was like
You'll
over here.
never know. Yeah, I don't know though. I always had a hard time with auditions. I could never do them. I failed.
What's
so
the worst,
many
worst
auditions.
one
I
ever?
was
Worst one ever for fun.
Braveheart.
Did you? You did not audition for Braveheart.
I did audition for
the
Braveheart.
friend, the like his best friend guy who. There's that other dude.
It was. The one I auditioned for, I can't remember the exact part, but the actor who got it was David O'Hara.
Yeah,
who's
sure,
a very
of course,
good actor. And it was between David and I to get the part, and David got it. And it's crushed me ever since. Crushed me. And then, but recently I was talking to someone and they said, well, have you talked to David recently? Maybe he would have liked to have gone the way you went.
Yeah,
I went,
that's
"Oh,
a very
I
good
never
point.
thought that."
But the one that always broke my heart was there was about 6 weeks where it was pretty certain that I had the role of Ford Prefect in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Yeah, no, I I'd read it, did it, seemed amazing. Didn't hear for a little while.
You'd be perfect for that.
And then I got a call. They're like, "Hey, they want you to do the voice of the spaceship." I'm like, "Oh wait, that's like 2 or 3 lines off camera." They're like, "Yes." And
Did you?
Of course, but because the role ended up going to Most Def. It's the only time I think that Most Def and I were up for the exact same role.
No, I wouldn't put you guys in a competitive.
Well, he
situation
never has the
at all.
mustache, hardly ever. Hardly ever.
Right. Well, that's true. I actually feel now it's funny that film because I was and am a huge fan of the Hitchhiker's Guide.
Best books of all time.
And
You knew Douglas Adams?
I knew
did
Douglas
not.
Adams, and
You
I
did
did
not.
so. I knew him in London. Yeah, and I was a big fan of these books. In fact, Stephen Fry introduced me to Stephen Fry and Douglas Adams were the first 2 guys in London to ever own the Apple computers. They were very early adopters of these Apple PCs, and they were both tech geeks. But Douglas Adams's the Hitchhiker's Guide series,
The best.
I thought that movie was a great missed opportunity.
I actually recently I'd been talking so much smack about it to my son. Because I gave him Hitchhiker's Guide, and I gave him basically Restaurant at the End of the Universe and The Long Dark, all of the books in order.
Yeah, my kids have read them all as well.
And then I was talking smack about the movie a little bit, and Ollie's like, "But you're in the movie." I'm like, "Yeah, I my voice is in the movie for a couple seconds here and there," but and then I actually threw it on the screen and we watched it, and it was way better than I remembered it. I think I was I was really down on it at the time. Maybe I was just too close to the books. But this time around, and maybe now, with Alan Rickman being gone, like that had a little gravitas to me that it didn't have before. And I ended up, damn it, if I didn't end up really liking the movie of Hitchhiker's Guide, but I liked it for the first time now, which is only interesting because at the time I was mad about it. I really thought it kind of missed at the time. Yeah.
That's fun. Well, maybe I should.
I think it's better.
That happens to me quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the biggest movie you've been in where you thought, I really wish I wasn't in this movie. This movie sucks. Or I just don't like this movie.
Okay. I can tell you. I mean, here's a huge one.
Right.
And this is interesting. My name is on the poster of this movie. So
right.
I read the script for this movie. And the movie is called, ready? Puppet Master, The Littlest Reich. Puppet Master, The Littlest Reich. So
I have to see this. I have to see this movie.
So it's like the seventh, eighth.
I already
It's like
love
the
this
seventh,
movie.
eighth, or ninth of these haunted puppet movies. And I get a call. We were supposed to go on vacation, and I get a call, and they're like, "We have a straight up offer for you." And I'm like, well, the answer is yes. You know me. I mean, like, if it's a chemistry read for Peacock or a straight offer, I'm going to take the straight offer. And so I read the script, and I definitely, when I say read the script, you know me, I skimmed the script a little bit. I see, does my guy...
You read the bits you read.
I read the bits I'm in.
Bullshit,
do I do anything funny? Do I do anything funny? There's some sort of kissing and fun stuff and some stabbing. I get stabbed by a puppet, and, there's a lot of dumb joie de vivre. The joie de vivre that you enjoy. It's like, go down to Dallas, stay in an awful hotel, fight puppets for a couple 3 weeks or something like that. Yeah, you have nice dinners, stuff like that. Now then I saw the picture. And not only they actually the producer and the guys that had made the movie, after we finished the movie, they added way more scenes that were never in the script that are so stunningly violent and so gross that actually, had they been in the script when I agreed to it, I might not have said yes. It gets so gross and so intense.
Well, see, that's the problem with agreeing to do a movie when you only read your lines in script, which is what I do too. It's my technique. But that happened to me because I'm in a very, very big... This movie that I was in, it's made more money than any other movie I've ever been in. It won the Oscar that year for Best Animated.
I know what this movie is. Yeah.
What
it's not Brave? No, I don't know Brave. I wasn't sure if we were saying the name or if we were just saying...
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's Brave. And I'm in that movie. And when I was sitting watching the movie, I was like, I don't like this movie at all.
The thing about... We've had like so many movies now where the mother or the daughter turns into a bear. It just keeps being a thing.
Yes.
I don't know when this became a thing that we're doing, but it is a thing that we're doing.
Well, also, you can't poison you don't get what you want. And so you poison your mum to turn her into a bear. That is no lesson to be given to young people.
I might be against you on this one. I think I enjoyed that one. Aren't you on How to Train Your Dragon also?
Oh, yeah. I did all
That's some good ones.
Yeah.
Those are great.
It was.
Those are really great. I love those ones. Yeah,
they are really good. They're really good. I have nothing bad to say about them. They were fun. And I love doing them. They're doing a live action of that.
Really? That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I'm not in it.
Could be. Are you willing to do a chemistry test? You do a quick chemistry test?
No, I'm not. I'm definitely not. I'm not in it, and they didn't ask me to be in it. But it doesn't. I think Jerry's doing it, and he's the only one from the original cast that I think is doing it, and then everybody else. Because there's obvious problems in the sense that we don't look like the people that we were.
Well, that's the thing about animation. Yeah. We have I have a funny thing. I have so many, I've gotten to the point now where I've created things that just kept going without them even telling me about them. I actually hosted the pilot for at the original At Midnight. Do you remember that? Do you remember that I hosted that pilot?
But I thought you did.
Yeah, but then I didn't want to. No, I didn't want to do it. So I wanted. Chris was going to do it, and Chris hosted the whole time. And then I just found out. But I'd sort of produced it and kind of helped create it. And then I just found out. Later, I got a call from the Funny or Die guys. They're like, "Hey, we're gonna keep doing the show." I'm like, "Lucky me, ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching." I don't own any of it at all. Yeah. Turns out I own none of it at all. No. None.
Oh,
now I have to go sit next to Dennis Rodman every weekend. Every weekend, I sit next to Rodman. I get to sit next.
Have you done more than one?
I've only done one. Done one. Yeah.
I'm into it though. Do you just sign autographs?
Yes,
and
you just be charming all day. You be exactly the way that you are at home, except it's out in person and people are squeezing your buns a little bit. You get a little bit of honk honk. Let me squeeze them. Let's get this little Glasgow boy up. You know. you get
well, you put it like that.
You get a couple little pats on the bottom just so you know you're doing a good job, and then no, it's all right. Yeah.
No.
It's a good time, but and then I also Disney made a full animated. Did I tell you, speaking about just auditioning for something? I got a funny audition story. So I got just an email from my agent, which is there's an animated Night at the Museum that Disney Plus is doing. A fourth Night at the Museum, and would you like to read for the role of Teddy Roosevelt, which of course was played by Robin Williams in the live action films, who was not a close friend, but we were friendly, and it was just a funny audition to have because I wrote Night at the Museum.
Yeah, I know.
So it was just so odd to get hey, put yourself on tape, just record yourself. And so I just did a totally normal audition, and thank God I booked it.
You get it?
Yeah. Because if I didn't get that, I would have been like, wow, that's pretty embarrassing. Yeah.
Well, let me give you a codicil to my Braveheart story. So I didn't get the role in Braveheart. It's every Scottish actor in the UK gets a job in Braveheart except me. I'm disillusioned beyond belief. So it's the early 90s. I go, well, I've had enough of this. Clearly I can't do anything here. I go to America, right? I'm in Los Angeles. I'm trying to get work in Los Angeles. And my agent at the time says, hey, they're doing an audiobook of the movie Braveheart. And they're looking for a Scottish actor to read the audiobook of Braveheart. And I'm like, fine, I'll go out because I'll get it. I'm the only Scottish person in Los Angeles at that time. And I go to the thing and I do the reading and I'm, I kind of lay it on a little bit with, Milady thinks that
you're perfect for this.
Perfect.
I don't know. By the way, I can't believe that you had to audition even for this. Yeah. Okay.
Well, here's the thing, though. I audition it. I don't get the job.
Oh, shit. You didn't get the movie or the audiobook.
Audiobook. And the casting director told my agent, because I'm like, how could they not give me the job? I'm the only Scottish person in between here and New York City. And they said, well, we just didn't feel his accent was authentic.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, right, I give up.
Oh, my God.
There's nothing I can do. And at that point, I had to become English and go on the Drew Carey show, which I booked about a week later. But I've never been so crushed. I couldn't even get a job as a Scotsman.
I have the worst non-audition story, the worst thing I just found out about later. And this is one I just found out about later. I never had an audition for it ever. I just found out later because there was a book about The Office that I was on a casting list for the Michael Scott role in The Office.
That would have made sense.
I know. It does make sense. And then in some ways when it came out and it was apparently there was a memo and there was a bunch of funny people on it. Paul F. Tompkins was on it as a genius and a bunch of really funny people. And but then I was like, maybe maybe it would have been more fun not to know that. It's fine. Any way you slice it, we did great. We had a great run. You got that
Yeah.
beautiful chair that you always dreamt about, the one that looks like Angie Dickinson.
Oh my God!
You got the Dynasty
chair
Angie
that I got
Dickinson
from
chair.
I was a big fan of Angie Dickinson. Actually, because I was
Oh,
coming
yes.
of age as
Yeah.
she was.
Yeah. No,
Policewoman.
she's like
Remember
a
that
boss.
show,
She's like a
Policewoman?
real alpha lady. She's like there was a certain
Yeah.
era of lady like that. Yeah, she'd be the boss. She'd.
Yeah, she would look
Yeah,
great
yeah,
in
yeah.
heels, but she could also fire a gun and jump over a car and catch
Mine
perps.
was like mine was Stephanie Powers from like Heart to Heart. I sort of my
good call.
vision of myself as an adult was basically that I would be in sort of like my lifestyle would be a very heart to heart lifestyle of like fast cars, murders.
that is
it's
your
very
lifestyle.
much my
You,
it's
Jenny, are
very much
very-
my lifestyle.
Very heart to heart.
The murders, the
mine
bubble
was
baths
here-
and murders.
The
So much
champagne in a
champagne
hot tub.
bubble baths.
So much champagne in hot tubs. That is so dangerous. Do you know that mine is a pretty obscure one. This is my absolute sex symbol
Sure.
for me when I was a kid. Was an actress called Alexandra Bastille.
You're gonna have to
that
give me a little bit of background on this.
Okay. So in the
Mm-hmm.
UK, in I guess it would be the late 60s, early 70s, there was a TV show called The Champions.
Okay.
And the Champions.
Champions.
They were
Previously
kind
on the
of
champions.
three.
Yes, previously on the champions.
There were three spies,
Oh, yes.
sort of secret agents, and they had superpowers.
Oh.
They could
It
talk.
was like
to
a
each other.
Marvel thing.
but it was the
almost,
late
yeah.
60s.
But they had telekinesis, or they had like, oh,
Right. The superpower they had is they would go like that, and then they would, in post production, it would go.
yeah, they had
that's
Doctor
pretty
Who
much it.
superpowers. Yeah,
That's right. Like they would, like an egg whisk or something would come in and float around and then go out. But but Alexandra Bastille was in the show, and she was a young woman at the time. I was a child, but there was she used to wear. She had these kind of like Chanel suits, and they were kind of tight, and she would like drive cars and walk into places.
this was a real
and
thing
kind of
at the
be
time.
all-
This was very much of a thing in our era because there was always those commercials with like Jeanette after Bat Splash, and she's like a lady, and she like rides a motorcycle, but then she's in a suit, and you can't believe when she takes off motorcycle helmet, she has gray hair.
Yeah, all of that. So she was a very, very, very attractive woman, and I've always taught my whole life. I always said to Megan, the ideal woman for me was when I was a kid. The first was not until I met Megan was Alexandra Bastille. So for my birthday one year, Megan and Megan and the boys got me a signed photograph from that period of Alexandra Bastille. And it was a great, so I hung it up because when I come back from Japan, I'd been in Japan with Milo. I thought I loved the toilet so much in Japan.
Oh, you bought
Japanese toilet.
Toto or one of those amazing.
Oh, unbelievable! Like the one that goes.
It'll say a
bottom when you're
haiku.
done.
It'll do a haiku if you need it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's unbelievable. I am happy to accept your waste. I mean it's unbelievable.
So you've got
So no, wait, here's what happened. So I get this photograph of Alexandra Bastille and I put it up in my bathroom because and every time I go in.
And everybody's like, why is Craig been in the bathroom for he's missing Christmas dinner. Where is he? He's looking at he's got his photo up. You know what he's doing.
But here's the thing. The because the photograph is up there, the slang word for going for a poop in my house now is he's got to the
He's copping a Bastille.
He's got.
I remember young boy crushes. These are always such a fun thing, young boy crushes, because I got on an airplane one time and I almost fainted with how starstruck I was by the Miss Susan Lucci. I saw Susan Lucci in person, and I mean,
did you give her a name?
Was she not nominated for like 35, 40 years or something like that? Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, it was just outrageous.
But I saw Susan Lucci in person. It was at O'Hare, I think, we were getting on the same flight. And I was just like, I can't. Oh my God. I'm about to be on the same airplane as Susan Lucci. It really freaked me out. I was just so like, I'm sure I must look fine, right? I'll just fix this and hello. And I might have said hello.
Do you ever get that now? I mean, I used to get an adrenaline rush when
Starstruck?
like when I was, I don't get that anymore.
I'm trying to think who could strike me these days. Occasionally there's a music person that, I got very starstruck. I my first week in Los Angeles, I asked Tom Waits for his autograph, which was a huge mistake. Never do that. Never, ever, ever do that. Do not approach Tom Waits. He does not want to say.
No, it's kind of like asking Lou Reed for his autograph. It's like,
I literally stepped towards him with a pen and like a pad of paper, and he said, "Make it quick." And then he asked, I was like, "Mr. Waits, could I have your autograph?" And he said, "What are you gonna do with it?" And I said, "I'm putting it on the bulletin board." But I shouldn't have done it. But I'm trying to think, who would I get really? I mean, but you've met. I held the bathroom door open for Mick Jagger at the Chateau Marmont one time. Yeah, and he said,
"I've worked."
Yeah,
with
you know
Mick Jagger.
Mick.
I didn't make a movie with Mick Jagger.
That's your famous thing, is you almost make movies and TV shows with people.
I almost make movies. For about a year, I didn't make a movie with Mick Jagger.
I was a little starstruck, and he said, "Thanks." I held the bathroom door, and he said, "Thanks," and thanks, and that was pretty neat. But
when I go into the bathroom, I don't want you waiting around here. So just go back out there.
But it's awfully nice. That was at the Chateau Marmont.
He's very, very.
But I mean,
nice
I guess
man.
I was just hanging out with Dennis Rodman. So in some ways, it's like Rodman. If I didn't get starstruck by Rodman, which I did a little bit, he's also 6'7" tall, of course. So
also
talk about cockneys. I mean, talk about cockneys when you're number 91, the Worm.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that why they called him the Worm?
I'm not actually sure. I think that was because he's kind of hard to wrangle. Why did that? It's something like that.
It's easy to wrangle worms.
Is it?
Worms are easy.
Not a big one. No, not a big earthworm.
Look, a worm is just a land eel. That's all it is. It's just
We're closing every
eel.
loop. We've closed every loop. We got cockneys. We got land eels.
Yeah, I think we've closed every loop. I think it's time to stop. I think we've closed them all. I think we did. We started with eels, and we'll finish with eels. And I'm very delighted that you did the show.
Oh, I love it. Are you kidding? I would do the show every day.
It's not a show.
The show is.
It's not a show, though.
I would talk to you every day, whether someone was listening or not. That's one of my favorite things.
Well, I'm always happy to do that.
Yeah.
And in fact, when are you next back east?
I'll actually be back east, either late in the fall or January. Speaking of things that are always happening, I've written a musical that is going very, very slowly. But at some point,
like a
Broadway musical. I've written the book of the musical of Trading Places, the old movies. So it's been very, very fun.
Yeah. I was hoping you were going to say it was about Aaron Burr as a kind of counterpiece.
By the way,
to
that's
Hamilton.
a fabulous idea. Why don't you do that? Yeah.
Oh, I love the idea. Aaron Burr. I've just read Gore Vidal's biography of Aaron Burr. Have you ever read it?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Have to. It's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, when people talk about the election now, it's never been like this. I go, wait a minute. When Aaron Burr was the vice president, he was on trial for murder and treason, and still the vice president. He ran away to New Orleans to raise an army to try and become the emperor of Mexico. Mic drop to everybody that's doing stuff today.
Okay. I did not know the Emperor of Mexico stuff. Wow.
Oh my God. See, I think there's a great musical in there with Aaron Burr as the hero and Hamilton, is the other side of the story.
I always remember when I saw Hamilton, the first time I saw Hamilton, I talked to you after. I was like, I saw Hamilton and I loved it. And you were like, do you think that they say son of a whore and a Scotsman, that it was a little derogatory?
Well,
just because the way he says like whore and a Scotsman, like, a
whore,
what could be worse?
Like if whore's not bad enough, Scotsman.
It's...
how can the bastard son of a whore
and it gets worse?
It gets even worse. A Scotsman.
It's like taking an eel and you put it in jelly. Jelly, meat, eel.
And scene. We're done. Get the hell out of here, Tom Lennon.
I love you, Craig. I'll see you soon.
I love you too.